Hey YouTube. So got lucky, ordered my Tessa tape yesterday, and it's not even 4 p.m. yet, and it has arrived thanks to Amazon Prime. So I can go ahead and finish wrapping all the front wiring and then taping up the joints. Some of them I shrink wrap, but going back after the fact, you know, it's not possible. The Tessa tape works really well. If you're wondering what I'm using to wrap the wires with, another Amazon buy, it's this Alex Tech split sleeving. Most of what I'm doing up here is 1/2 inch. I do have some 1/4 inch. Stuff works really well. You can even get the little tool to feed your wiring loom into it if you got a long run to do. Wraps it up really nicely and looks really good. So did decide before I put this all back together to go ahead and check the driver's side fender out and put the kit on it. Glad I did. Front bolt wasn't even holding, so I had rear bolt here. This bolt you can see is just entirely not there, was not connected at all. So the only other bolt holding was the lower one here. So, and I did find, while looking around, looks like I'm missing the cotter pin on this side as well. So go ahead and get that taken care of and see if we can get this thing drivable here this week. So I'll stop here for a second and get some stuff lined out and show you guys how it goes. So I now have the bumper cover pretty much cleared out, ready to go back on. You can see where I've taped the wiring loom where it wasn't already shrink wrap. Right, so every bit of the wiring, as much as I could, is now covered, even the factory wire on this, mainly to prevent shaking. One of the other videos I'll do later on, I'll show you what I found in the 41-year-old wire loom that was just taped together in a few spots and kind of show you why. But the joints, right, just interlapped, finished up. You know, my connection plugs for spot and floodlights. Lights on the other side, right? Marker light, quick connect on the turn signal, since it'll stay with the bumper. The main disconnect was on a previous video you saw. So, and with that, all I have left to finish up here, zip tie this up, get it in place. I don't even think I'm going to drill anything. I think I'm just going to zip tie around the whole thing because it's got like a nice trough through here to lay in. And I think that'll hold it nicely in position. Of course, that could change when I get into the car trying to put it back together. You never know. So, and then the driver's fender, got the new clips in along here. As stated earlier, there are only 2 bolts, I think, technically holding it in place. I did decide that this time, on the one that goes behind the door here, on the other side of the car, this was reversed, and I brought the bolt in from under the fender to get there. But I think it'll be a whole lot simpler. There's enough gap to open the door, run an extension through, and get to that. So I want to try it this way on this side, see how that works out. And I will let you know here in a moment. Alright, it did not take long to quickly give up on that idea. No way, shape, or form can I get this tab on this side of this clip without the body seam just disappearing, right? It's either touching or overlapping. So I think I had it right on the other side. So I am going to switch this around and go about it the more difficult way, but still here within about 3 minutes I should have this ready to put the front bumper cover on. Hey, so we got the fender back on, driver's side, everything's well, and I'm just going to show you guys a tool tip, something I wish I found a long time ago. So if you work with zip ties much, or if you ever have, you know that the bit that's left behind when you trim them off has a tendency to become razor sharp, and you always forget where they're at and catch them with the back of your hands, your arms. Found a tool. It was on another YouTube video at some point in time that I wish I'd found a lot earlier. A little thing called a flush cutter. I've seen these at auto parts stores. Believe it or not, this one I think came from a Ben Franklin in the arts and crafts section. But you get this thing dead flush in the part you're cutting, and it lifts it just a hair and cuts it and then drops it back off. So you can run your hand across this thing like all day long and no blood. It's a pretty awesome little tool. If you don't already have one, if you work with zip ties, I recommend it. And that was the last zip tie, so I'm ready to start maneuvering this thing back into place. Okay, everything is back together. I still have to do the fender to bumper cover bolts, and that's going to take a little while to kind of get this lined up better than it was before. You can see the new side markers and new bulbs and new turn signal, right? Same on the passenger side. Right, you can see fitment of wiring. It's not lit well, but you can kind of see the little pigtail that sticks out there is for the driving and fog lights. But yeah, pretty much all wrapped up. Probably come out later tonight and try and finish getting the last few nuts on inside the fender cover. But for now, it turned out fairly well. So let me know what you think. You know, like, subscribe, and you know, hit the notification button, because there's going to be a lot more coming. Thanks everyone.